Morning, everyone. My name is Eugene Nicandri. I'm chairman of the Economic Development Power Allocation Board. I'd like to welcome the members of the board who are participating, Trustee Dennis Trainer and Attorney Andrew Silver. I'd also like to welcome Power Authority staff members who are participating via video conference, which we all are. This is a scheduled board meeting which has been duly noticed as required by the open meetings law of the state of New York. I'll call this meeting to order under Article 3 of the bylaws of EDPAC. Begin by the adoption of the agenda, but first I ask any of the board members if they have any amendments to the agenda that's been previously circulated. If there are none, then I'd ask for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion's adopted. Next item is the approval of the minutes of December 7, 2020. I'd ask if there are any motions to amend the minutes. If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve the December meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. All of the board members were polled prior to the meeting regarding conflicts as to any items on the agenda today, and there were none. Next is the Recharge New York new and extended allocations. And for that, I'd recognize Senior Vice President of Clean Energy Solutions, Keith Hayes.
Good morning, Judge Nicandri, board members Silver, Trainer, and all in attendance today. Today, the board is requested to recommend that the trustees approve contract extensions for 8 allocations of Recharge New York Power to existing customers and award new allocations of Recharge New York large business retention, large business expansion, and small business and not-for-profit based power to 18 applicants. 8 extension applications and 25 new applications were evaluated for this period, all of which were submitted through the state's consolidated funding application system. The applications included power allocation requests from large businesses, small businesses, and not-for-profit entities. As in the past, new applications were evaluated on a competitive basis in consideration of the 12 criteria in the Recharge New York legislation. I won't read through the 12 criteria, but some of the key ones include job commitments, capital investment, and an applicant's risk of closure or leaving the state if they are not awarded a Recharge New York power allocation. Prior to today's recommendations, please note that 7.9 megawatts are available to allocate out of 610 megawatts that are set aside for large business retention purposes. 20.5 megawatts are available to allocate out of the 200 megawatts that are set aside for large business expansion purposes. And 3.9 megawatts are available to allocate out of the 100 megawatts that are set aside for small business and not-for-profit purposes. Today's recommendations consist of the following: 8 extension allocations totaling 2 megawatts and supporting nearly 1,050 jobs. 4 new large business retention allocations totaling 3.8 megawatts and supporting the retention of more than 760 jobs. 5 new large business expansion allocations totaling 6.6 megawatts and supporting the creation of 635 new jobs. And 16 small business and not-for-profit based allocations totaling 1.5 megawatts and supporting nearly 700 jobs. If today's recommended allocations are approved, 4.1 megawatts will remain available to allocate for large business retention purposes. 13.8 megawatts will remain available to allocate for large business expansion purposes, and 2.5 megawatts will remain available to allocate for small business and not-for-profit purposes. The awarded applicants will be offered Recharge New York contracts for a term of up to 7 years. The contract has provisions for the partial or complete withdrawal of an allocation if the recipient fails to maintain mutually agreed upon commitments relating to, among other things, employment, power utilization, and capital investment. So in summary, the board is being asked today to recommend that the trustees approve contract extensions for 8 allocations of Recharge New York power to existing customers, and award 25 new Recharge New York large business retention, large business expansion, and small business and not-for-profit based allocations. This item is submitted for your approval. I'd be happy to take any of your questions.
Anybody have any questions from Keith on any of those items?
No.
No questions.
Go ahead, Keith.
So, let's see. I think that covers everything I have today, Judge.
That includes expansion and
Correct, and retention.
retention, okay? And termination as well, correct?
Yes. Yes, and I probably don't do this enough, Judge, but I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize the great work that Emily Alkowitz, Brandon Cole, Yale Brown, and Elke Pasilipo do in processing and preparing these applicants for your consideration, and the other 2 board members.
Are they members of your staff?
They work for Business Power Allocations and Compliance.
Good, kudos to them.
Thank you.
They do a good job. And anything that's been in the newspaper you've considered in your recommendation, is that correct?
That is correct. There is one applicant that had some news media. I want the board to know that we did our due diligence. We spoke to that applicant. We've determined that there is nothing of concern based on our conversations with the applicant. And we recommend proceeding at this time, and that would be Plug Power.
Okay. No questions. I'd ask for a motion to approve the recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. That's our agenda, except for the next meeting of this board, which is tentatively scheduled for Monday, May 24, 2021 at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If not, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The corporate secretary will contact you about your availability for the May meeting, but with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Stay healthy. everyone.
Good. You too.
Thank you. You as well.